Hello, Dingle. Thank you so much for reading Handiwork. Welcome to one of the rooms in which it's based. I'm looking forward to November, I think it is, even though I'll only be able to join you in the same sort of form on this slightly fuzzy camera. Mia asked me to read a little bit, and I tend to read from the start quite a lot. So I thought I would plunge in and read a bit sort of more from the middle. About my dad and about the swallows, because I've been thinking quite a lot about the swallows at the moment because it's about the second week in September and they're starting to leave. For the last 32 years of his life and the first 32 of mine, my dad worked in a sandstone quarry surrounded by countryside. For over 3 decades, he spent every weekday alone in the lunar landscape, operating and maintaining the heavy machinery, much of which he had rebuilt or helped to build or built himself completely. He was a master of what Stephen Knott describes as the scratch built, things that have been entirely constructed by hand, as opposed to merely assembled out of ready-made components. Whereas Knott used the term in the context of railway modelling, my dad was a scratch builder of the monumental. His most tremendous construction was a 30-ton rock crusher, almost 300 feet long. Every spring, from the vantage of his cabin in the tremendous crusher, my dad would watch for the return of a fistful of dainty songbirds. The sandstone quarry was a monstrous, ravaged, hostile environment for humans, but for the quarry swallows, it was a sanctuary. Unbothered by the noise and dust and desolation, they chose it as a place to nest, year in, year out, for the cracks and nooks and shelter provided by iron and steel and rock. From my dad, I inherited a propensity for handiwork, but also the terrible responsibility, the killing insistence. He would leave for the quarry every morning at 7:30, and even after returning from work in the evening, he would go out to his shed or his garden, depending upon the season, and remain there until 9 at night, hewing away, generating the sound of bashing, clanging, whirring, and grinding, as well as an occasional shower of sparks or a sudden blinding flash. On Sunday afternoons, he would sit uneasily amongst us, his rough-skinned, muscular hands flopped to his lap, twitching. His hands were permanently calloused and oil-stained. He held even his knife and fork as if they were tools.